We're here for Katie's Arms again, and it's actually Friday. Yes, it is. And it's actually 8 o'clock. So for the first time in quite a long time, we actually have a Katie's Arms happening at the right time. Our pub online, welcome one. Oh, look at my lipstick round the top. Welcome all to the Katie's Arms on Valentine's Day. Now, I know that we may be down on numbers tonight at the pub because many people will be out doing Valentine's things. Will they? I don't know. Are they? Do people do that anymore? I don't know if they do. Hello, 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 hello everybody. But we said we would do a pub night for single Pringle Mingles. And if you're hearing what you're hearing, hold on. I have got this weird bug thing, so I'm sounding like a lunatic. But it's single Pringle Mingle night at the Katie's Arms. So if you are on your own, you're not really on your own. And if you're on your own for any reason on Valentine's, then you get to be here at pub night. And you can say hello from Edinburgh. You can say hello to each other. Give us a tune on the piano. I will do one day, but not yet. Will you be your Valentine? Yes, I'll be your Valentine. I have lovely Mark, but I'll also be your Valentine, absolutely. Happy Valentine's, thank you. We're not doing Valentine's for me. And look, I did some preparation for the pub night. I know, I'm quite proud of myself. So I did 7 reasons to be cheerful on Valentine's Day. And this was specifically for single Pringle Mingles, but it also is for everybody. So if you're having a bit of a shit Valentine's Day, or you don't actually like Valentine's Day, or whatever, I have come up with 7 reasons to be cheerful. Some of them are a little bit random. I asked lovely Mark for one as well. And I also noticed that at least most of them are political, but that's not really my fault because this is a great time to be alive and I'm very excited. If you're here from America, Single Pringle Mingle here. Hello, Single Pringle Mingles. Let me just, if I may, and then I will go on to my 7 reasons to be cheerful, and however many of those we get through. Can I just say, if you're a Single Pringle Mingle and you're coming on the tour, so the tour will be from April through till August, which isn't actually very far away, is it? I'm making it sound like it's very far away. That's not very far away at all. We are going to have special things for Single Pringle Mingles on tour. We're going to have special spaces for Single Pringles. We're going to do some, we always make a fuss of you guys anyway, but we're going to make more of a fuss of our Single Pringles, not just from a kind of point of view of maybe meeting other people, but just from recognising that actually when you're part of our little family in these theatres and big rooms, and the people who come on their own to our nights out, they're always my favourite people because I love that people say, oh, I'm fine to go to that on my own because everyone there will be lovely. That to me is one of the most perfect things about what we're doing on the road. So if you're a single Pringle and you are coming, don't in any way feel anxious about it because the minute you get there, you'll realise that you had nothing to worry about and everybody will be just terrific towards you. Okay, here we go. 7 reasons. You can come up with your own as well for your reasons to be cheerful on Valentine's. So we can looking forward to seeing you in Stamford. Oh, Stamford's just so lovely. And we started off actually with 1 night there. And I think now we're in Stamford for 3 nights. So we have an actual Stamford takeover. And if you're coming along, I don't know if you're able to stay. I know there's, lots of things are expensive and everything, but if you're able to stay over, Stamford town kind of becomes full of our crowd and the hairdressers are busy and the pubs are all busy and usually it's really nice weather, so everybody's out and the shops in Stamford are really kind of nice. So it becomes like it's not like a festival as such because it is a theatre, but then the whole town is full of people that you kind of, oh, hello, because you kind of know people. So it's lovely. Right, here we go. 7 reasons to be cheerful on Valentine's. I intend to cheers all of them, but actually I've realised I didn't bring my bottle in with me. So we'll have to just sip. Okay. I'm happy after 30 plus years. Ooh, isn't that nice? I wonder why. I wonder why you're happy after 30 plus years or whether you've just worked out how to be happy. Reason number one, you aren't married to a wanker. So if you are, it's 3 o'clock and sunny here on the East Coast, how nice. And America features quite heavily in my reasons to be happy on Valentine's Day. But my number one reason is you aren't married to a wanker. Now this might be, hi from Warrington with me and my dog. You see, that's a great Valentine's date right there, isn't it? Your puppy dog. Now, if you are married to a wanker, obviously this doesn't really apply to you because you're married to a wanker. I guess if you're married to a wanker and you know you're married to a wanker, that's a bit awkward. And you're probably working out how not to be or when you can get away. Let's not go there. But if you're a single Pringle today on Valentine's, or maybe you're happily married, whatever. But if you're a single Pringle, it could be worse because you could be married to a wanker. And I reckon, given my life experiences, not that I was married to a wanker because that isn't fair. I'm my first marriage. But knowing what it's like to be married but not necessarily wanting to be, or being left, versus being single, I would choose single. Because with single, you have the opportunity to be happy and find happy and to rely on yourself to be happy. Whereas if you're married to a wanker, it's really hard to get away from that. That's my sense. And some of you will know that when I was getting divorced from my first husband, who, I will restate, is not a wanker. Because I believe, this has got into a whole story we didn't need, but never mind. I believe you can't look back on marriages from here that way, because otherwise you'll just see the nasty bits at the end and then think, oh, well, that person was a right wanker. And that isn't true, because in the early stages, first 4 or 5 years, everything was epic. So I prefer not to think about, oh, what a wanker, because that isn't the truth of the whole thing. The truth of the thing is that there was a lot of time where it was super fun. Yes. But regardless, if you're a single Pringle today, you're not married to a wanker. And that's a positive. I also have memories of another situation in my life. When I say situation, I would say I brought it on myself, because that's what happens in all of these situations, is I've brought it on myself. I will leave the name of the guy out of this. I lived in a house with a guy, and it was all like, oh, settle, settle, house, house, dog, dog, job, jobs, sherry, sherry, live, come home, make tea, sherry, sherry, live in the house, do DIY, do. That's my impression. That's my impression of being grown up, right? A situationship. Oh, is that what I was in? I was in a situationship, but I wasn't ready to be in that. So I had all the things, like the pretending to be a grown-up thing. I had a sensible car that was an estate car, and like I had a job that was like a regular job, and I came home from my job and there was a house that I half owned, and you know what I mean? But then I had to run away from that because clearly that was all too sensible. But in the little bit before I actually properly ran away to another country, I got moved out into the spare room of my own house. Because I was the bad guy that was leaving, I got moved out into the spare room. And I remember, oh yes, my MAGA hat. I don't want to just hold on, flash my arms, but thank you somewhat for noticing. I'll show you this in a second because this is a really good one. So I remember I got moved out by the gentleman, who will remain nameless, into the spare room. And the spare room was damp. This house wasn't a great house, honestly. I don't know why on earth I bought it. But it wasn't a great house. And the spare room had damp. And I got moved into the spare room that had damp. And it wasn't just like, I don't mean like I was damp. You know what I mean? Which now, age 50, is kind of aspirational. But we're not going there. This wasn't a vagina thing. So I basically got moved out into the spare room where there was damp. And I remember getting ready for work in the morning, and I had to get a hairdryer and hairdry my clothes because they smelt of damp. But in many ways, I brought that on myself. I'm utterly squashing my hair, aren't I? Yes, there we are. I utterly brought that on myself because I was the bad guy that was leaving the relationship. Do you notice how we've got slightly waylaid and we're not now doing what we're supposed to do? What is my hair doing? Hold on. I can't have this weird hair thing here. There, is that better? What's this bit doing now? Oh God, there. So, there. It sort of. Never mind. That's fine. So there's other things that are going to be on my list. Point 4, maybe we should do now, which is, did my earrings just fall down? No, they're there. It's okay. Trump is in the White House. So this is actually my Valentine's point 4. This is reasons to be cheerful on Valentine's, is that Donald J. Trump, this is actually from is it from 2020 or is this one from 2016? Regardless, Donald J. Trump is in the White House. That's one of my reasons to be cheerful on Valentine's Day, because it is beyond exciting, is it not? It is. Can I just say a couple of things Trump's done? So, I haven't really got much of a voice. So, Trump's been in office for like 2.3 seconds so far, maybe 3 days, maybe 4. Like, he's basically just about got his tootsies under the table. And he's already stopped the war with Ukraine and Russia, more or less. I mean, we'll go to Europeans later. But he's basically just said, oh, piss off. I mean, I think that's essentially, that's the sort of leadership we need. But he's basically got Putin next to him because they get along, because they've always got along. And actually, Putin's a good guy. And actually, Russia is a delightful place to be. If you go there, it actually feels very much like Russia. I know. Who'd have thought, right? Shocking news. Russia feels like Russia. I know. Russia has got actual Russian people in it. I know. It's why it blows the minds of European leaders, like the Germans or the Brits. They're like, what do you mean it's got its own people in it? What do you mean? What do you mean he hasn't let in all of Afghanistan? What the fuck? Who is Putin? He must be a monster. What, sorry, Putin has put Russian people first? Well, what a wanker. Oh, does he not have half a ton of Somalis? No. Well, fucking hell. He must be a bad guy. Right, so Putin has basically put Russian people first, and Russia is lovely. And if you've ever been there, you'll realise it's peaceful, it's calm, it's beautiful, it's clean, it doesn't smell, no one's shitting in the street. Stuff that Europe kind of a time gone by. Right? So basically, Trump has got Putin, because they've always been mates, and he's just basically gone, oh, Ukraine, oh, fuck off. And it's worked perfectly. And Zelensky, Trump knows. Trump doesn't give a shit about Zelensky. Zelensky's 4'3", last seen dressed in spandex and heels. Trump's like that. Just piss off. Just piss off. So he's basically solved the war, and none of the European leaders can stand it because they want Ukraine in NATO, because that was always the objective, and it's not going to be allowed. And the brilliantly genius thing here is the British media are acting like they matter. The British commentariat are acting like anyone gives a shit what they think. Like Donald J. Trump, the finest president the world has ever seen, gives a single rat's ass what some pathetic little immigration-pleasing blooming cow down to Islam leader in Western Europe thinks. Trump couldn't give a single shit what Keir Starmer thinks. He couldn't give a rat's arse what the leader of Germany thinks. He couldn't give a shit what Ursula von der Leyen thinks, because they're a bunch of tosspots who have actively destroyed Western Europe. So right now they're not listening and they don't care. You can sit on BBC News and say what you want about Trump. He couldn't give a shit about you, Doris. He couldn't give a shit. So Trump's been in power for about 3 seconds. He's solved the war with Ukraine. He's saving the US taxpayer over $1 billion a day. He's now talking about nuclear disarmament for China and Russia and America. And he's got an excellent plan for Israel. I don't care what your view is on that. That's my view. This is my channel. You can do one. He's returned biological sex. You can only be a man or a woman. You know, you can't identify as Dumbledore tomorrow or say that you're, you know, now called Veronica because you've strapped your cock to your inner thigh and you want to go and compete against 16-year-old schoolgirls. You can't do that anymore in the States, thanks to Donald J. Trump. And now there is no more men pretending to be women so they can beat girls in sport. I mean, this shouldn't really have been a conversation at any point in my long life, but it has been. He's sorted that out. Now he's got the Mexicans trying to help police the border and stop drugs going up into the States because he threatened tariffs, which no one seemed to understand. So it was, tariffs, that would be terrible. No, it wasn't. It was about making a strong stand to get what he wanted. Why are people so thick? Why are people so thick? And he's got $1 trillion worth of investment from the Saudis. This was all before breakfast. He was like that on his first day. Just stop that war. Right, okay, brilliant. There's just a male and a female, no one else. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, got that. Boom. Like, politics, how politics should be done. Like, it's enough for me. It's enough for me. It's actually why I've been quiet for a couple of days. Because right now, I know people say, Katie, you're British. But my Valentine's present, quite frankly, was Bobby Kennedy Jr. And I tell you right now, I will state this for the record. If Bobby Kennedy Jr. wants to come and, you know, check on me personally from a health perspective, I'm saying do it. My message to Bobby Kennedy is, come check me. Come check on my health. I don't need a curtain to get undressed behind. I'm just saying, just come. You know, Bobby Kennedy being confirmed as the health dude. That was my Valentine's present, to be honest. Just give me Bobby. You just tie a little red bow around his, you know, exceptionally large manhood, and that's my Valentine's present done. It's all been too much for me, honestly. So Bobby Kennedy Jr. has been confirmed as, hold on, I want to get it right, Department of Health and Human Services. I'm just saying, I'm human and I could do with being serviced. So, Bobby Kennedy, please, I don't even mind the voice. I can handle it. We don't have to talk. We don't need to talk. It's fine. You can rest your voice. Maybe if you need vocal rest. If you need vocal rest, maybe that's it. Come to me and have vocal rest. Anyway, that was not the point. Bobby Kennedy Jr., if you're not aware, is now head of the Department of Health and Human Services, placing a member of storied Democratic family in President Donald J. Trump. Someone's telling me to have a drink. Excellent. Cabinet. Please, God. Please, God. That is it for the vaccine mafia. It is over for the lockdowns. It is over for the vaccine mafia. It is over for the COVID militia. It is over probably for the cancer mafia in terms of the people who mandate how you're supposed to deal with your own well-being. And I have no experience of this, so I cannot speak of it other than I believe everybody should have the right to open choice about how they do anything to do with themselves. And it's over, I think, for chemtrails, because he's going to square that away. It is unbelievable. Other reasons to be cheerful. Can you see how happy I am? So I asked lovely Mark, Fauci and Gates, it's over. I think it's all going to come out, personally, that COVID was absolutely deliberately released. And that's why he got a pardon all the way back to, what was it, 2014, wasn't it? But I think Trump will still get him. I've just got a feeling. So I asked Lovely Mark. So I said, what's a positive thing for Valentine's Day if you're a single Pringle Mingle? And he said, if you're watching Katie, that's a pretty sad state of affairs. That's my own husband. And I said, that's not really very kind, is it, Mark? Because I'm trying to help, you know, keep people together, be kind. And all you've got to say is you're a saddo if you're watching me. Twat. Anyway, I told him to come. I told him off. He said, oh, that's nice. So then he came good. So Lovely Mark's reason to be positive on Valentine's is that you're not on your own. And he was saying, yes, look, rude. How rude, not so lovely, Mark. I know, very naughty. I think he thought he was being funny. Anyway, so Lovely Mark then said, you're not the only person out there. Have a look at all the comments. You're not alone. See, that's much more Lovely Mark. And you'll see, do you see? Look, here you are. There you all are. So if you're sat there thinking, oh, this is a bit shit, you're not. Because look, I don't know what this is. But that's me going, look, everything's all right. Don't you worry. I've got you. I've got you. That might not be very reassuring, but I've got you. So that was Lovely Marks. Oh, and then I've got JD Vance and I've got Gino D'Acampo. Oh, yes. So the other reason to be cheerful on Valentine's is you're not Rachel Reeves. Old ceramic bobhead. Hair by Lego. Have you seen her recently? Oh my God. She's like that. Oh, she's like she started. I know that like I've got these lights here that are really helpful. Like if I turn these lights off, like let me just show you what happens. Right, ready? Did you see? Right, ready? There. I'm just trying to show you that how lights can really help you look less like haggard. Anyway, Rachel Reeves. Doesn't matter now if she's got all the lights in the world facing her. She's like that. Oh God. So she has to pretend, right, to still be Chancellor. And she's basically hanging on in there by her fingernails, like some, you know, like a one-armed burglar on a window ledge, which is an itchy arse. Like, oh my God, I lied on my CV. I've lied on CVs to get jobs, you know, no problem at all. I lied to all sorts of people, the Apprentice people. I told them I'd want to work for Lord Sugar. But it's so funny that she lied. I was nearly a decade at the Bank of England. Yeah, it was nearly a decade. Yeah, it was nearly a decade. Yeah, at the Bank of England. She was there for like 25 minutes. And then she was at the Halifax with the sash. Can I help you? Can I help you? What have you come in for this morning? Can I help you? Just to pay in, is it? Can I help you pay the check-in? Come with me, I'll help you pay the check-in. Come on, we're going to do it on the machine together. Come on, I'll help you. Can I help you this morning? Can I help you? Don't you hate those women with the sash? Can I help you? No, fuck off. Oh, I did something really naughty the other day. There is no way of making this okay. So let's do that in a few minutes because some of you are going to find it a bit much. But I'm now working on the basis once a week I'm allowed to do a specific naughty thing that just for my own pleasure, right? Just for my pleasure, and it isn't going to be kind, it isn't going to be nice, it isn't going to be forgivable. Like if I tell it to you, you're just going to judge and just say, that's not really fine, is it? That's not what I think you are, Katie. But I have to tell you, in me is a deep malevolence of naughtiness that is not, doesn't have any limits to it. There are no parameters on the naughty in me. I mean, you saw that with Australia, with me being deported, right? There's no that sensible limit. I'll tell you what I did in a minute. It's not good. So, other reason to be cheerful, you're not Rachel Reeves. And the other one is you're not Gino D'Acampo. And let me tell you what I think's gone on there really quickly. So Gino D'Acampo being thrown to the wolves, yes? Back in March 2024, he refused to sign the contract for the road trip with Fred and Gordon because they'd agreed dates then those dates got torn up, I think because of Gordon. And Gino basically had a sad on and went, fuck this, I'm being pissed off. I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't really know how Italian goes, but let's just go with that. Fuck this. So he didn't do the road trip, and ITV were really pissed off, and they've carried that grudge until now. Now, Holly Willoughby's husband is called Dan Baldwin. He is a piece of work. He's the reason she gets TV shows even when she's a talentless bint. Dan Baldwin will be very much enjoying Gino being thrown to the wolves because Holly Willoughby is one of the victims of his behaviour, despite benefiting enormously from Gino having a personality when she doesn't. So Dan Baldwin, the husband, who is powerful in the media organisations, will be stirring the pot to get Gino thrown to the wolves because it's so good for Holly just at the same time as she has a TV show. That's what's gone on. And finally, ITV is still looking to launder their reputation because they had Phil, who was banging the runner. I don't think that is very helpful, right? And so they're still trying to launder their reputation. Oh, look at us. We're drawing the line. Behaviour matters, la, la, la. So I just say to Gino, if you happen to be watching this, on Valentine's Day, Gino, please know that we see. Please know that good people see. Please know that loads of people profited. Lots of people profited out of you having a personality. The reason that ITV profited from you was because you have a personality. So please know that ordinary people like me, who are just, ordinary, see that you have a personality. I love that you have it. I think you've been a really good laugh. I've enjoyed watching you on TV, and I'm sorry that you're now being used to wipe, basically around the trail of filth that seeps behind Holly Willoughby as she kind of decomposes live on air. Okay, should I tell you the thing I did? Okay, Mother, if you're watching, go away. So I've got a thing about people in restaurants, and it isn't the wait staff. I know it's health and safety. I understand it, but I cannot bear it. I cannot bear it. So you're just waiting to have your order. So you're just about to do your order. Is there any allergies I should know about? Is there any allergies or dietary requirements? Reminds me of two soups. Any allergies or dietary requirements? No. Because you're not my doctor or healthcare professional, even if I had one, which I haven't got one because the NHS is completely fucked because after lockdown and COVID, no one bothered coming back to work again because everyone's terrified of their own fucking reflection because of the complete hoax that COVID was, and everyone enjoyed it because suddenly they got to be an NHS hero and people stood on their doorstep and clapped at the sky for them and made them turn into a complete bunch of wankers. So I don't have a healthcare professional, but if I did, I might tell them if I had an allergy, but probably I'd just deal with it myself because I don't need you to care for me. But instead of saying that, I went, no, because I'm not a cunt. Okay, that was the story. I'm not proud of myself, but that is what I did. And I'm going to tell you, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the reaction. I enjoyed the painful silence. I enjoyed the gasp from the table next door, and I don't regret it. I've spent many years I couldn't be more polite. If you've met me in person, you'll know I couldn't be more polite and thankful. I will stay and do the picking up of litter. I will clean toilets. I'll do any job. But I just couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist it. Okay. So, yeah. But now I've done that. So that's my one go for a week. So for the rest of the week now, I'm going to go back to being what I know I am. But if you do ever get the chance to go, no, because I'm not a cunt, then when you're being asked if you have any dietary requirements, can I help you? Probably not. Probably not. You don't look like you can help me, no. No. I mean, I don't want to brag, but I'm 50 years old. I'm a pretty capable individual. You don't look like you could help me, no. You don't really look like you could help yourself. In fact, you look a little bit like you got dressed in the dark. In fact, you look a little bit like you might be missing an entire gene. I mean, I'm not saying you can't help me. I'm just saying I think I'm all right. Oh, I think I've had a funny 5 minutes. I'm actually not going to apologise because I'm not sorry. But let me just tell you, do you want to recap like a sensible individual? Can I help you? 7 reasons to feel happy on Valentine's Day. Number 1, you're not married to a wanker. I used to be, but he wasn't a wanker at the start. Number 2, you're not Rachel Reeves. She is a cunt. Number 3, you aren't Gino D'Acampo, but we've made it clear we're in support. Number 4, Trump is in the White House. The 45th and 47th president of the United States. Bobby Kennedy Jr. has been confirmed as the lead on health. Again, repeat, Bobby Kennedy, if you want to come and check on my health, naked, with your knob out, the invitation is there. Number 6, lovely Mark says, you're not alone. And number 7, J.D. Vance over here lecturing European leaders. Basically, my life is perfect. Everything is great. I love America. And pretty soon what happens in America is going to happen here. And I am all about it. Darlings, love you. Chins up. Nipples to the sky. Shoulders back. Vaginas clenched. Onwards we go. Good night.